Welcome to Careers with STEM Online. I'm Heather Catchpole and I'm here today with Associate Professor and ARC Research Fellow at the University of Sydney, James Curran. James wears a lot of hats. He is also the Director of the National Computer Science School, co-author of the Australian Curriculum Digital Technologies, founder of Grok Learning, and is working with the Australian Computer Academy to deliver the National Digital Technologies Challenge. Thanks for joining us, James.
Thanks, Heather. Nice to be here.
So we thought we'd have a bit of a chat today about digital technologies in particular and online learning and, kind of facing the challenge of getting online learning happening in digital technologies. But digital technologies has been online for a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of digital technologies includes being able to operate in an online environment. So that includes collaboration and working online in teams. It also includes actually understanding how does online work, networks, and the security you need to support interactions online safely. So, for example, if you're banking online and so on, how does the cybersecurity work to actually protect your online operations? So. Definitely digital technology and working online are highly aligned with each other. Within the ACA team, we actually have people based in multiple places around the world. We've got our head office in Sydney, but then we've got people in Brisbane and Canberra and in London. And so working online is what we do all the time. So in a sense, my advice to teachers and to students is, yes, this is a thing we're going to need to deal with over the next few months, but digital technologies is a great subject to be attacking in these times when kids are working from home or learning from home. And we look forward to supporting as many teachers in delivering digital technologies from a remote teaching perspective. And we've developed a lot of activities that kids can do online right from year 3 through to year 12 in the Grok Learning platform. And I'll show you an example of some of those in a bit.
Fantastic. So it's almost like all teachers have suddenly become digital technology teachers in a while because they're actually teaching digital technology skills to students.
Absolutely. And also the pedagogy has just, gone from 0 to 100 in a matter of moments, right? So people are realizing quite quickly that, just doing their old style of teaching, but with Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever open on video is not going to cut it. And so having those mixture of different kinds of activities for students to do is going to be really important too. So it's the skills and knowledge, but then also it's the teaching side of things too.
Fantastic. So how can the Australian Computing Academy help teachers?
So I guess there's a range of things. So first of all, I'm just going to share in my screen to show you the ACA website while I'm talking. So can you see that now?
Yeah, fantastic.
Great. So the ACA has put together a bunch of resources and activities to support teachers in delivering digital technologies, and the vast majority of those can be done very effectively in an online way. Some of them are specifically designed for online, and I'll just quickly point out a few different bits and pieces. So, number one, we've got a huge number of resources developed as part of the Federal Department of Education's DT Challenges project. And so you'll see over here, I've clicked through to the resources tab, and you'll see there are DT challenges, which are larger chunks of work for, let's say, 4 or 5 weeks of classroom time. And now that kids are actually operating at home, where digital technologies is a subject that can be really taught effectively in a home environment, then kids might well spend some more time on that. We've got some shorter dive into code mini DT challenges, which are designed to take more like 1 or 2 weeks of a couple of hours a week. We've got the cybersecurity challenges, and I'm going to show you a demo of one of those in just a moment. And the one thing that we've newly created to support the teaching of digital technologies at home is, not surprisingly, called DT at Home. And these are a set of new activities, unplugged activities that are designed to really take advantage of the home learning environment. And one of the ones I want to show you first up this morning is this DT laundry one that we literally only put online earlier today. So let me show you what one of these digital technologies at home activities looks like. First of all, this is a document, or these documents are very much designed for teachers and parents together to be teaching digital technologies. This particular activity looks at data representation and how symbols are used to represent different bits of information. It includes a getting started guide for teachers and parents, talking about what the activity teaches, how to actually get started, what you'll need. And then we move into the students part of the printable. So this here is an example where, and I don't know about you, Heather, but I have not paid too close attention to all of the different symbols that are available in the on those washing instructions. But this guide actually shows you what some of these different symbols are and how they're used to represent different instructions. So it's a great combination of an activity that looks a little bit at algorithms and a little bit at data representation and covering content specifically in the kindergarten to year 4 part of the digital technologies curriculum.
Brilliant. And so, that's actually a bit of design thinking and interaction design there, isn't it? Just thinking about those symbols we use.
And so one of our concerns in the ACA is while there's a lot of great online things we can do, and I'll show you some examples in a bit, we also want to make sure that kids that don't have that much connectivity or kids that just need to get away from the computer for a little bit can still be doing some great digital technologies. So these are a set of printables that we plan to produce a lot more of. So there are 4 up here now. We've got another, I think, 3 that we release later on today. And we're just going to keep pumping out a range of these different activities to provide parents with an activity that they can genuinely understand that will tie to the digital technologies curriculum quite explicitly. So it's not going to be, just go into the kitchen and follow a recipe without talking about how it ties into the curriculum. It really is going to focus on that curriculum content as well, but also give kids a range of things to be doing with their parents at home and, through their teachers online.
Absolutely brilliant. And I know a lot of parents, we're both facing, online learning and working with our kids while we do this. It's just, it's so great to see that laundry one. I have to say that, for me, I'm just like, yes, let's do the laundry. Let's talk about algorithmic thinking. I'm totally there with you.
Yes. So really the trick is to say, what are the advantages we can use at home? What does digital technologies in the lounge room look like? And digital technologies in the laundry? And so we're going to be taking best advantage of all the things that you would normally find at home to teach digital technologies effectively, rather than trying to jam the normal way of doing things at school into a home environment.
Fantastic.
So let's go back to the DT challenges then. So these activities are designed to run online. So really the fact that kids are working at home on these things is exactly the same as if they were in a classroom environment doing them. Each of these activities has a set of online teaching materials, and I'll show you an example of one of those. Let's go and have a look at the Smart Garden right now. So this is an example. And can you see the Grok interface now, Heather?
Yep.
Good. So this is an example of one of our challenges. You see, if I pop open the hamburger menu on the left-hand side here, it goes through a series of slides that explain particular ideas and then goes into a question that actually uses the Grok learning interface. So here you'll note in this particular course, it's got quite explicit instructions for the students to follow. So I'm going to, first of all, normally I would have read through the instructions, or just note here as well for kids that literacy might be a bit of a struggle for. We've also got narration of all of this content as well. So here I'm asked to join the blocks together, and I'm going to do that. And you can see that I then get a tick to see that this step has been followed. I'm now going to click the run button, which is up here, to actually see what this code does. And you'll notice that the simulator down the bottom, so I don't even need to have a BBC microbit myself to make this work. I can then run the simulator to see how my code would go, and then feed it to the automated marking system to get some feedback as to whether I've solved this problem correctly or not. Now, this one's a very simple problem because it's the first in this particular challenge, but all of the challenges, all of the DT challenges follow this model of a set of questions interspersed with content for the kids to learn, and then the automated marking system giving lots of feedback to students as to where they're up to.
Yeah, that's so handy, isn't it, for teachers who want to provide that feedback? It's, they can know that it's already there, and also can parents or teachers access that to know how their kids are kind of progressing through the
Absolutely.
modules?
So if we go back to the main interface, you'll see there's a teacher dashboard section if you're a teacher, and I'm signed up for a whole bunch of different organizations, but let's go to the Australian Computing Academy Demo School. So here on this dashboard, you can see all of your students in grades. You can set them up into particular groups. You can then drill down within that and look at their progress on particular courses and so on. I also want to point out here, this is the place that you register your students. Now, if your audience haven't heard already, Grok Learning and the ACA together have made all of the content on the Grok Learning platform, including the DT challenges, the cybersecurity challenges, and so on, free for every Australian child who wants to use the activities for all of term 2. Now, in fact, it's longer than that. It's larger than that. It's actually worldwide. So if anyone's watching this video from overseas, you can also get access to all of the material in the platform. So there's no need to buy a subscription right now. If you just register your students, then they'll immediately have access to all of the different activities in the platform. So the teacher dashboard is where you go to see student progress. And you'll be seeing a lot more videos produced by the Grok and ACA teams coming up to show off or show the process, I should say, of how to actually use the teacher dashboard and so on to follow student progress. You can literally drill all the way down into exactly what question a student is up to and see exactly what code they've produced to try and solve that problem.
Brilliant. And I've actually used Grok myself for my early Python learning. I know that university students getting started, anyone who's getting started with some coding can use it. So it's actually got a really, really broad range right from that primary school up to, sort of adult learning.
Yeah, absolutely. There's we've found everything from the youngest of kids right through to we actually use the same platform, or Grok supplies the same platform to the University of Sydney and the University of Melbourne for tertiary level teaching as well. So there's definitely content here for everyone. One thing I wanted to quickly point out is the cybersecurity challenges as well. So as a teacher, if you're a little bit concerned with getting your kids started on coding, if you haven't done much of that yourself yet, that's fine. One of the things that we recommend is you get kids started with the Information Privacy and Security Challenge. It's designed for year 7 to 12, although we've had lots of year 5, 6 teachers say that they'd like to have a go of it with their kids too. And essentially in this challenge, in this first challenge, what we're teaching kids is about sharing safely online, creating good passwords, using two-factor authentication and password managers, basically to operate as securely as possible in an online environment. And of course, right now, we're going to be getting a large number of kids online that maybe haven't been online for as much of their time as they will be over the next 6 months. So it couldn't be more important than to get kids thinking about this stuff now. Now, there's many programs out there that already teach cyber safety. We go past that into cybersecurity. And the reason is that in our experience, doing a finger wagging program where you say, don't do this, just doesn't work with kids. So what we've done with this challenge is flip it on its head entirely. And so you actually get to learn from an attacker's perspective how information can be exploited. And so what we've done in this first challenge is we've created a fake social media world. You'll see in front of you, I've got a fake phone here. In it, I've got a fake fist bump, and fist bump is our version of Facebook. And then you'll see also flash tag, which is our fake version of Instagram. And we hired about 20 actors to be friends with each other in this social network. And your job, your character is Sam, who's a member of your school's white hat cybersecurity team. And your job is to sleuth through various social media posts from our characters to get an answer to solving various questions. And in doing that, learn about how that information can then be turned against the people that put it online by nefarious actors.
And they're
Now,
actually role playing what's, real careers here, aren't they, James? There are people
absolutely.
who work, as you said, white hat hackers. There's people who work for various organisations to do justice as a job. I bet they're working really hard at the moment to keep these things
They are
cyber safe.
absolutely working flat out at the moment to protect all Australians. And BT, our partner, is obviously a multinational, protect people worldwide for what has definitely been and will continue to be an increase in criminal activity, because there are so many more people operating online and we're in such uncertain times. So thanks, Heather. You've actually reminded me to just show you one of these videos. So this is Laura. And I'll leave your audience to go and have a look at these challenges themselves. But all of the content is actually presented by our industry professionals from the partner organizations. All of the content has been developed in conjunction with them. And so we know that this is exactly what kids need to know about. And what's more, it's a really fun activity. So we found that students in years 11 and 12 can get through this in a couple of hours if they're really focused. And we found for kids in years 7 and 8, because there's a fair bit of reading and sleuthing to do, it might take more like 4 or 5 hours, depending on their reading speed. And kids really get into it. We've had over 40,000 students start this first challenge. It's extremely popular, and I don't think there's a better time to actually get students thinking about how their online behaviour could potentially be putting them at risk, and also learn that there are huge opportunities and careers that are such fun, such great challenges, and so well rewarded pay-wise as well, because everyone needs cybersecurity experts right now. So that's a great activity to do with your students if you're not comfortable getting started with coding.
Brilliant. So thanks so much for sharing that, James. We'll go back to you, and I guess my question to kind of finish us up is, there's so many resources. There's some really great topics, everything from laundry to cybersecurity to really engage kids online. I think kids are going to just be fast-tracked through the digital curriculum thanks to this event. For teachers and for people who are sort of after a bit of community and a bit of a sense of, just kind of working through where to start, problems other people might be having a bit of a chat about things, where's a good place for them to get started?
Yeah, so there's a few places. I guess number one, we're ramping up our visibility on Facebook. So we've created a new Facebook group that's a combination of Grok and the ACA teams, both there supporting teachers. So you can either find Grok Learning or the Australian Computing Academy on Facebook, and then find the group from there. The second thing is both organisations are really ramping up their support of teachers. Now, in the ACA, we've always had a helpline, and in fact, we've had a phone number as well. In fact, I'll just very quickly share again. So I should have put those on the screen before. So let me go and do that. So if you scroll to the bottom of the ACA page, you can see that there's the help@aca.edu.au and our phone number there. Please give us a ring. We're very happy. Any teacher that's stuck on any part of digital technologies, or just having a complete meltdown about how to actually do digital tech, or you've tried an activity and it hasn't worked, just get on the phone to us. We're literally paid to help you out by the Federal Department of Education. No one ever rings. Give us a ring. We'll be so excited when the red phone rings to do that. One final thing that I wanted to just very quickly point out, and let me find an example of this, was the tutoring interface. So one of the other things that Grok is making available to both students and teachers for the challenges, if you're stuck on a particular problem, you can actually click on the tutoring button, and you'll have one of our paid staff, and as the number of people in using the tutoring interface grows, we'll probably have some industry volunteers as well, all with working with children checks, by the way, teachers. So we're covered in all jurisdictions in terms of the child protection requirements. I'm going to just quickly...
Yeah, and there's nothing like being stuck, right? If you get stuck in coding, then you know that you're doing the right thing.
Exactly. And so there's limits to what the interface can actually do. I've got one of my staff sitting on the other side somewhere who will hopefully answer my question in a few seconds to see how it works. But the basically, even if you get to the point where the really substantial help of the automated marking system can't help you, we will have tutors operating from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sydney time, so that'll cover schooling hours right across to WA as well. We'll be there to help you and your students if you get stuck. And then there's the phone line, the helpline, Facebook. We're everywhere. Come and find us if you need a hand.
Brilliant. Well, we look forward to having a play and giving it a try out. Thanks again for joining us, James, and we'll pop those resources online and no doubt see you on the platform.
Yeah, thanks very much, Heather. Good luck, everyone. Stay safe.